Either the few latecomers?
Yeah, go for it, great.
So thanks everyone for joining us. My name's Nick White, I'm COO of Wise Sussex, and I'm delighted to be hosting this event. It's nice to see so many of you here. Some of you are Wise Sussex members, some of you are not members, so I'll give you a bit of an overview of who we are in a minute. But this is a joint event brought to you by Wise Sussex and South East Creatives. For those of you who don't know, Wise Sussex is a fully independent, not-for-profit member organisation. We're based in Brighton, but we exist to support digital media and tech community across all of Sussex. And we do that in a variety of ways. I'm just going to share my screen with you now so I can kind of have some slides to back up my overview. Just a second. So yeah, this is our lineup today. I'm going to introduce the event. We've got Marina here from South East Creatives, and we've got Hannah, our member service coordinator, to tell us a bit more about Wise Sussex. But just to kind of give you a bit of an intro, we're a not-for-profit member organisation, as I said. We support our members in a wide variety of ways. We drive innovation in lots of ways. We've got our home is the Fusebox in Brighton that is home to lots of residents who are working on sort of innovative, immersive technology. It's also a high chief test bed where we're kind of supporting companies to sort of experiment with that technology. We've got a range of programs, initiatives. We have lots of events. We have lots of ways in which we promote our members' businesses to kind of collectively sort of drive more interest in the sector as a whole across all of Sussex and put kind of Sussex and Brighton on the map as a place of excellence for technology. We also got a rather large job board, which you might have come across, that helps over 1,000 people find digital jobs every year and kind of helps the companies that are our members find the skills and talent that they need. Particularly sort of relevant now is that we also champion our members' interest at a sort of government level. So now more than ever is a good time to be part of our community. During the kind of COVID crisis, we've been lobbying the government on a weekly basis, direct access to ministers, trying to get support for businesses, support for freelancers, financial support for co-working spaces, and all of that, us alongside other kind of tech communities around the UK, kind of really putting the pressure on, has resulted in kind of lots of changes to the support the government is offering, which has been really great to see. We're also joined, as I said, by South East Creatives. South East Creatives run a business development programme that supports growing creative practice working in East Sussex. And their programme is really for creative, cultural, digital businesses who want to cultivate their skills and broaden their professional network. And I'm really pleased to share today that what Marina is going to share with you is some specific kind of opportunities, including funding opportunities and training opportunities that might help you through this current crisis. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and hand over to Marina, just 1 second, and let her pick up and tell you a bit more about it.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I'd just like to say huge thanks to Wise Sussex and to Nick for hosting this meeting today. And thanks to everybody for coming along. It's a really beautiful day. I really appreciate that you could be outside enjoying that, but you've taken a moment to come in. So what we'll try to do today is be as helpful as possible, share a bit about the programme, and we've got some time at the end for questions. But I've also put my email at the end so you can follow up with questions via email. And, you know, thanks again to Wise Sussex. Networks like Wise Sussex are incredibly important for our industry. And I think, as Nick said, being able to mobilise and speak on behalf of us all is incredibly important and valuable. And you can really see the difference that networks like Wise Sussex are making at a national level. So I'm going to share my screen and give you a bit more intro now to South East Creatives. Give me a moment. Okay, so can I just check you can all see it? If somebody just says yes.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to outline what South East Creatives is. It's a creative business development support program for the creative industries. And it's specifically across Essex, Thurrock, Medway, Kent, East Sussex. And I have to be really clear at this point that it unfortunately doesn't include Brighton and Hove in this, because it was funded by the councils, or East Sussex Council, Essex, Thurrock Medway, with partnership funding from the European Union, which is ERDF funding. But I will talk more about what the programme offers to businesses in those areas and why we exist. There's 3 strands mainly to the programme around building clusters and networks. There's a grants programme, and there's a whole training and professional development arm of what we do. Now, obviously, we've had to adapt, like everybody has, over the last couple of months. But we're still very much in existence, active and wanting to help people. We have quite a rigid structure because it's EU funding, and the programme is, I don't know if anybody's had any dealings with EU programmes before, but they are quite strict in how they have to operate. So we're stretching it as much as we can to adapt to extraordinary circumstances. So the programme runs till the end of December this year. Why do we have it? I mean, we're talking about a programme that runs from Essex to East Sussex. All that area is covered by the South East LEP region, who recognise that there's a real growth in the creative industries. We know it's the fastest growing industry in the country, but we really want to support that growth outside London. We want to profile the businesses that are already here and also support the networks to grow, because I'm sure all of us have benefited in the past from our networks. Somebody's recommended you, or you've been passed on to somebody else, that your business has been mentioned. So part of what we want to do is profile businesses, support those networks to grow, and support the individuals within it, because 40 to 50% of this industry is freelance, as we know. And that, of course, has very different challenges within it. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the eligibility of how you get on the programme. And I think I might just say a couple of words about myself. So I work on this programme part-time, but I also work 3 days a week in other roles, and I've worked over 20 years in the industry. And across that time have really come to see and understand a lot of the challenges, the universal challenges and unique challenges that face different parts of this creative industry. Now, how do you join? How do you become eligible? Well, you need to be a business, first of all, or a social enterprise, or a sole trader operating. You need to be part of the creative, cultural, digital sector, but that is a very broad spectrum, from IT companies to artists, to marketing agencies, to graphic designers, to those working in TV, radio, and publishing. So it's a really broad spectrum of businesses that are eligible, but you do need to be operating as a business. So if you're a startup, if anybody is here either starting up, rethinking how they operate, they might for whatever reason need to be leaving a role and want to start up, you can come onto this program, but you need to have had at least one trading transaction and be in the first 12 months of operation to be a startup. And as I said, the creative industry is really broad set, and we're very specific about which, as I said, there's a geographical remit to this program of who we can and can't support. What's the offer? So there are 3 strands to it. The first I'm going to talk about today is about the training and mentoring. We did have these amazing 2-day courses which you could go on, and we'd recommended for people who are in their first few years of trading, where you could cover the whole setting up your business over two days. But what we've now done is moved everything online. We've got a variety of courses that are coming up, and I'm just giving you an example here. They're ranging from things like developing a social media strategy, to setting up your business for those who may be pre-startup, to using your creativity to innovate and adapt in this time. The courses range from 1 hour online to 12 hours that might be split up over 4 different days. We've also got 20 hours of recorded webinars that are also available for eligible businesses to watch. And we're holding weekly accountability sessions. So these are like facilitated sessions for often very small businesses, micro businesses, or sole traders to come together to really check in with one another, help keep each other motivated, help share some of the issues they're all facing, and work through those together. So the training, like I say, we're very keen. We have targets around being able to support up to 12 hours of training for a company or a freelancer. And once you've done your 12 hours of training, you then get a further 3 hours of one-to-one support, which you can request what area of support you want. So we've had people wanting marketing expertise, core business planning, pricing and costing advice, or general coaching. And we also have another strand, but at the moment, this is obviously quite a difficult time for this strand. And this is around, if you are creating any new full-time jobs, then you can access 12 hours of one-to-one support for your business with a business coach. So that should cover the training and mentoring. And I'm very sorry that I'm talking at you and this isn't a two-way conversation at the moment, but I'm really looking forward to hearing your questions at the end. Grants. So we have a grants program that is designed to support the growth and sustainability of the creative industries. And the size of grants range from 1 to 20,000. Now, obviously, given the context that we're all in, we're very understanding of what that growth and sustainability is going to look like, and working with people to help them think about that as well. So growth could be, for example, by being more efficient and doing things differently. It could be about new products and services. So if you're having to adapt and put your offer online or adapt or develop that offer, then that to us would be, we would see that as growth. It could be startup activity, or as I say, new ways of working. Now, the grant program isn't 100% grant, but what it is it's basically, it's non-returnable. It's kind of equity-free investment. So, but we only fund 35% of project costs. So just to give you an idea, the minimum grant is £1,000. So your project needs to be 2,850 if you wanted to come to us for £1,000. You would need to have 65% match funding. That's about £1,850. So the grants, like I say, the minimum is 1,000. They go up to 20,000. However, most grants are between £1,000 to £3,000. We're finding at the moment we're getting quite a lot of people coming to us to upgrade equipment, get new software, to adapt their services, maybe coming out of offices, trying to work differently. So, and we're getting quite a lot of the grants for £1,000 which are going out, which is fantastic. Now, if you needed a grant over £3,000, there is a much stronger business case you need to make, and over £8,000, you need to have full-time job creation within them. So that could mean that you're recruiting 2 part-time members of staff, but essentially, you'd have to be creating jobs. The program, as I said, ends in December. So we can only fund activity that happens up to the end of November with our grants. So if you wanted to get funding towards a post, we would only then be able to afford to pay 6 months of that from June to November. So I think at the moment, what we're really trying to do is steer people in towards really small grants because they're achievable to be completed over the next few months. There's a couple of quirks with the grant scheme, and it really depends if you've had experience of grants before or any grant funding. But this grant scheme, you have to pay out yourself and then claim back afterwards. So you just need to be mindful of cash flow. You have to use private funding rather than public funding to match it, because this is public funding. And like I say, the project needs to be completed, all the activity, before the end of November 2020. Now, we're really, really quick at turning around decisions. You can hear a decision within 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the size of your grant. If you signed up today to get go through eligibility online, you would then state whether you wanted a grant or interested in it. And, within the week, we'd be able to help you and help you get in an application. So we're trying to do things as quickly as possible, because we also know that, people need the investment at this time to adapt. So I'm just going to give you a few examples of things we've funded. They range from different types of businesses. It might not relate to you, but you might know other people who are in these different industries. So please share the programme with them as well. Laslet England is a small fashion business. She produces scarves and accessories, and she sells internationally. We funded her to bring in some freelance PR expertise to help raise her profile with a really targeted group of stockists. Holograph are a digital marketing agency based in Hastings. They launched a new project to market, and we supported them to recruit a new staff member. 18 Hours is an events company. We helped them buy a second-hand van. It was less than £5,000. They branded it, and in order that they could increase their efficiency, because they were spending so much time driving all their stuff in a very small car. We've been funding all sorts of different equipment, software, specialist printers, websites. Also, we've been supporting people with stands at trade shows. Those trade shows are now moving online, so we can support things like that as well. So that's just a range of things that we can offer. Now, the last strand, really what I was talking about, was about networks and the importance of bringing us together, human beings in the same room. Remember that. And we had two cultural hubs who are Towner Gallery and Delaware Pavilion, and we were running a series of events with them. They've had to move their events online. They're producing the Edge lectures over the next few months, and these are going to be asking key speakers from different parts of the creative industries, from design to fashion to theatre to digital, to talk about their ideas for the future and what we've learned and what we need to do to adapt as people in the industry. So it is worth signing up to their mailing list if you're not already on them. And who knows, we might all come together before December at those beautiful venues. If you want to find out more, we've got the website southeastcreatives.co.uk. You go on there to go through an eligibility process, so you can sign up there. If you want to find out about what courses we've got, there's info on there, but also just follow us on social media via hashtag Southeast Creatives on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. And if you want any really specific advice or guidance, there's mine and my colleagues' details there. I tend to cover the west part of East Sussex, so Lewes, Eastbourne, New Haven, surrounding areas, and Ben covers the other side. So I think that should cover everything. Thanks,
Marina. I can see we've had a few questions coming already, but before we go to those, we're just going to move on to Hannah's presentation about why Sussex and the benefits of joining a community like ours at a time like this. So we keep popping any questions for either Marina or Hannah in the chat. We'll come to them in about 5 minutes. Hannah, do you want to share your screen?
Thanks, Nick. Yes, I'll just share my screen now. Okay, so can everyone see that okay?
Yeah.
Great. Hi, my name's Hannah. I'm the Member Services Coordinator at Wired Sussex. It's my role to make sure that all of our members can make the most of their Wired Sussex membership. So just to kind of recap briefly what Nick mentioned at the start, we are a fully independent, not-for-profit membership organisation for digital tech and media businesses in Sussex. We don't receive any public funding, so we do rely on the support of our members to continue to support our sector. But we do try and keep membership costs as low as possible, so that it's accessible to as many kind of businesses as possible. So membership is £72 plus VAT for a year. If you work that out monthly, it's about £6 a month. So compared to what you pay for, say, Netflix, it's pretty good return on investment. I'll kind of run through the core benefits of membership now. But like Nick said, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and I can answer them at the end. So one of the really core ways that we help our members is by kind of championing their interests at a local and national government level. This is particularly important at the moment, given the current crisis. So at the kind of start of the crisis, we had a rapid response strategy, starting with kind of setting up a Wired Sussex Slack channel for digital tech and media businesses to kind of share the latest government advice, support each other, and connect in these challenging and isolating times. As well as the Slack, we also did a survey on kind of how coronavirus is impacting our members' businesses. This was particularly important because it also helped us to understand the impact of the virus on our kind of smaller company members with like 1 to 10 employees, or our freelancers who've been particularly affected by drop in work as a result of the crisis. As Nick mentioned, we're in constant communication with like DCMS. Our MD, Phil Jones, has regular calls with them to help them understand the challenges our community is facing during the crisis. And so it's a great time to join Wired Sussex so that we can make sure that we can represent your interests, because ultimately we're stronger together. As well as kind of championing our members' interests, we also have our commissions and briefs board. This is a fantastic place for our members to find paid work opportunities and kind of build that portfolio of clients. Especially with the kind of drop-in clients at the moment, it's a great place to find those projects as they become available. And feedback from a lot of our members is that as a result of the projects they've won from the commissions and briefs board, it's led to more long-lasting relationships, with those clients. So it's definitely a really valuable resource, particularly at the moment. Another strand of that is we also help our members to kind of start to generate more business, and now is a great time to stay active and visible by promoting your services and success stories. We have a few ways that we help our members do this, but one of the core ways that we help is all of our members have a directory listing on our members directory. This kind of gives you the opportunity to write about who you are, what you do, but also we have the facility to submit news and showcases. So showcases, for example, are case studies of your work, and they work particularly well to kind of demonstrate your creative capabilities with options to add lots of images and embed videos. So it's a great place to kind of make yourself visible and be really be there for when the projects start rolling in and be easy to find. Also it boosts your SEO ranking on kind of Google search, and members who've spent a bit of time adding to their directory find that they have a better response to commissions and briefs because they appear more credible by having an active presence on our site. We also really want to make sure that we're promoting the amazing stuff that's happening in our region. So as well as kind of the facility to showcase your work on the directory, we actively share all of our member news and showcases in our fortnightly newsletter and on our social channels, to kind of shout about the great stuff that's happening. So then, as Nick mentioned, one of the other core ways that we help our members is support finding talent and their thinking around strategy and recruitment. We do know that many businesses are struggling at the moment, but some are still thriving and looking for talent. So we do have a sector-specific job site. It's the only one in the region. And because we're kind of localized and sector specific, we do find that the caliber of applicants that come through our site is much higher than members who advertise in other places. We also offer significant discounts on the cost of advertising for small and medium businesses. So depending on your company size, you receive either a 45% or 75% discount, because we understand that, the cost has to scale depending on the size of your company. But because we're a membership organisation, we can be really flexible in helping you find the right talent. We can help with things like spotlight interviews to promote your employer brand, extending the closing date of job adverts, help benchmarking salaries, etc. We just want to make sure that our members have the right talent they need and a place where they can find the support to find that talent. Wired Sussex membership also includes access to our free full programme of events throughout the year. So last year we ran over 60 events throughout the year. We're really proud that we've made these the events coming up now virtual. For example, our members meetup, which is coming up in June. It's one of our really large quarterly events, which is a networking opportunity for all of our members to come together, make connections and kind of build their network. These are really valuable events to our members, so we wanted to make sure it was accessible in a virtual space. Also running it virtually means that we're able to engage with a wider pool of members based outside of kind of central Brighton area without that physical limitation of having to travel from Eastbourne to Brighton for an evening after work. As well as the kind of annual events we run, we've also run a few events recently kind of in response to feedback from our audience around the kind of needs that they have at the moment. So we recently ran some crisis management webinars on finance, strategy and communications. Kind of these strands were kind of the ones we identified as our members needing kind of advice or guidance or support on. And we've got a Q&A coming up in a couple of weeks on remote onboarding and recruitment to help our members to kind of navigate bringing on new staff remotely. So we're constantly listening to our audience and delivering events that are of value to them. Wired Sussex is also a home of innovation. We have kind of a range of programmes and initiatives that are designed to support our cluster and allow it to create, innovate and grow. We're usually based in the Fusebox, as Nick mentioned. I'll kind of go into that in slightly more detail on the next slide. But at the Fusebox, we also have our 5G test bed. This is the only 5G test bed in the UK that's not run by a network, which means that we're able to facilitate small businesses to come in and develop products and services using those facilities, which they wouldn't have been able to otherwise. We also run our Wired Sussex Talent Festival yearly. So that's a fantastic initiative where it's the largest festival in the Southeast for digital careers. And it's a great way for all of our members to get involved in kind of promoting the Southeast as a great place for having a career in digital, be that through our portfolio clinic, skills summit, or kind of a jobs fair where we provide one-to-one advice. So the Fusebox is a collaborative R&D hub. We're usually housed in the Fusebox, but it is closed at the moment. But it's designed to support creative technologists to turn their ideas into successful innovations. We provide access to a huge amount of immersive tech equipment, the 5G test bed and kind of facilities like hot desks or meeting rooms, phone pods, all to kind of support our residents to, develop and create these successful innovations. We're working really hard to reopen as soon as we can, but we're still welcoming applications for residency for when we do open. Over 2/3 of our residents are one-person teams, which kind of really creates this sense of community and collaboration. But, we do welcome applications from startups, small teams, or those developing new products at existing businesses who would benefit from using the kind of access that we can provide. Residency is £260 plus VAT for the month, or it's subsidised to £90 plus VAT for a month with a Wired Sussex membership. You can find out more and apply for residency through the Fusebox website. So we'll pop the link in the web chat for anyone who's interested in finding out more. Finally, we have a place on our website to promote your workspace. As we prepare to reopen the Fusebox, we know that there will be other kind of member companies or workspaces out there that are, in the same position as us and kind of preparing to reopen. So if you do have available office space, Wired Sussex members have this area of the site where they can advertise to fill that space. To give it a bit of context, it gets about 20 to 30,000 unique visitors a month, and that's all people looking for somewhere to work. So in both senses, it's a great place to advertise your office space, but it's also a great place to find somewhere to work and base your business. So yeah, that was a run through of the kind of the core benefits of membership. But yeah, just to reiterate, we are a local organisation with really deep local roots, and we constantly want to listen to the needs of our members and respond to the needs of our community. As a result of the crisis, we have suffered, significant losses. So, we can't deliver these services without the support of our members. So if you're not already a member of Wired Sussex, please do consider signing up. You can find out more and sign up on the website, which I've linked in the presentation, or, if you have any questions about membership, drop me a message in the chat, or feel free to send me an email at hannah@wiredsussex.com.
Great, thanks, Hannah. So I'm just going to have a look at what questions have come in. If anyone has a question they want to ask, wants to unmute themselves and ask it, please feel free to chip in now while I just have a little read through the messages. So, is there any way for service providers to be involved in the project, delivering projects to companies that win grants? Was that one answered already, Marina? Or?
Yeah, I have answered it, but Barney, but just in case anybody missed it, I mean, what we've tried to do is if somebody asks us, like, because you have to get 2 quotes to be able to apply for a grant, so from any provider. So if asked, we will share those people we know in our network as potential individuals for them to go and get quotes from, but we don't have a clear platform to do that. So it is a bit ad hoc, and it really depends on whether people want us to do that and ask for that advice. But I'd also say that we hopefully will be able to run some in-person networking events, in which case then people can meet one another at those in the future.
Great, thank you for that. I hope that answers. I can't see everybody on my screen all the same time, so I hope that answered the question. Andrew Hillman, is this for all businesses not clear? Do you want to come off mute and ask that question, clarify a little bit what you're looking to know here? Are you there, Andrew? Oh, I can't see him. Okay.
Maybe I could say from a Southeast Creators point of view, we've got quite a restricted limit on who we can work with. They have to, you have to be, well, it is restricted, but it's also a very large group of people. You have to be recognised under the DCMS definitions of creative industries.
Sorry, I didn't quite get that. So what is defined criteria? It was advertised as a small business group in East Sussex. Hello?
Hi, Andrew. Yeah, but the program that we're running, Southeast Creatives, is really specifically focused for those within the creative industries. And unfortunately,
I'm creative in sports therapy. It's a creative business.
I understand that there's creativity in science in all sorts of aspects, but unfortunately we have a really restrictive limit on who we can fund, and it has to be fit under the DCMS definitions of creative industry.
Yeah, but I just thought this was a group to get together on, just all businesses as well. Not just all about the money, is it? It's about ideas,
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. I don't know where you're based, Andrew, but it might be worth going to the local Chamber of Commerce, who might also be running sessions like this for broader businesses. And sorry,
don't get me wrong. I have been on quite a few business seminars. It's one of 15 I've done in 2 weeks. So, and I've gone from Derbyshire to Sussex. I'm based in Bexhill, as they need to clarify these a bit clearer, then I actually come from Bexhill and I work from Bexhill, but as such, you know what I mean? Okay, it seems we're not getting very far. Goodbye. Yeah.
Bye, Andrew.
Bye, Andrew.
Keith Leach, would you like to come off mute and ask your question?
Not a very good system here.
Right, I'm off mute. Yes, we're in the startup phase, or we certainly. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. We're in the startup phase, or certainly were in the startup phase. that's sort of been going for about a year, sort of trying to take it in really slowly. And of course, all this has hit and it's gone wallop, as you can imagine. We're actually sort of doing two things. We're doing events management. We already do a lot of community events, but we're doing it voluntarily, and we're trying to start moving across to doing the community events as a business as well. We're also a small theatre company. Basically, because we're startup, I'm not sure whether you can help us yet, or whether we've got to get going a bit longer.
If you mean Southeast Creatives, you just have to have traded under the business that you apply for. So if you've done any events and charged anybody for any of that, or charged a ticket for people to come and see your theatre, then you're trading. So yes, you'd be eligible to apply.
Oh, that's good news.
So I'd sign up on the website. There's an eligibility page. Have a go at that. And what happens is you have to provide proof that you're either a registered business and that you're trading. But my colleagues will help you share what you need to provide.
Yeah, that's one of the things we haven't done yet, is registered, of course. We've just been operating as a sort of partnership. We haven't bothered to register because it hasn't been big enough.
Well, okay. So have you been operating as sole traders?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess then you would have to think about whether you wanted to apply as a sole trader or as your business identity. Your business identity.
I'll look on the website. I won't waste anybody else's time. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Keith. And I've got a question from Stephanie, who's interested in supporting startups and getting involved in the mentoring scheme. Do you want to come off mute and ask about that, Stephanie?
Yeah, hi. When you went through right at the beginning about before the grants, about how you do like a mentoring scheme and you support startup businesses and stuff like that, that's really an area I want to get involved in. So I'm a creative designer. I've got like 25 years experience. I've been self-employed for 16 years. My company's Say Design UK. And so I got to a point where I just didn't want to be just working. I wanted to like use my skills to really sort of support other people. And the thing I get the most rewards out of is helping startup businesses and helping independent businesses, because I'm an independent person myself, and my experience in advertising, print, promotions, digitals, I can like bring that all together, you know. And the one thing I'm really passionate about is branding. And I think branding is such a vital part of a startup business. And a lot of the time it can get really overlooked. So, you know, your brand is everything. It's about how you market yourself, where you market yourself, your message to the outside world. You can have the best product in the world, but if you're aiming it at the wrong person and it's not getting the emotional response that you want, then you're wasting a lot of time. So, you know, I'm sort of like on a mission to make people more brand conscious when they're like organizing their businesses, and because a lot of people kind of skip that part, or they think it's just a logo. They don't really, you know, it's like so much more than that. So that's sort of my passion.
Oh, sorry. Thanks, Stephanie. What I was going to suggest is if you, we're really open to trainers and coaches coming forward saying that they would like to work on the program. If you've got an idea for a training offer, like a webinar, and you've got a design for that and you want to come forward and let us know, then please do. My email's on there. I think are we going to be able to share the presentation, Nick?
Yes, well, we're actually recording it so that we can reshare the whole video for anyone who misses it, because a few people have had to kind of drop out the last minute, so we'll put the whole thing online afterwards.
Brilliant. So so Stephanie, please, my email's on there. You're welcome to drop me a line. Some of our training though isn't provided locally. We work with a company that are based in Essex called Space, and so they've been doing a lot of the training provision for us. So I can't guarantee that we can offer that, but we have been also working with some local trainers. But please get in touch. I'm very happy to
in the chat again, and I can just.
I can do. Yeah, that's a good idea. Hold on, I'll do that now.
Okay, great. I can't see any more questions in the chat. Has anybody got any other questions for me? Can everyone still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, Nick.
Sorry, I've lost view of all of you, so I'm just looking at a blank screen now. Okay, if there's no other questions, we can wrap things up. Let me just check. Okay, that's Marina's email. Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for Marina for sharing that opportunity. And yeah, just on a final note, if anybody wants to find out more or join Wise Sussex as a result of what they've heard today, then just feel free to give Hannah a call and we'll pick up that conversation with you offline.
Thanks very much, Nick, for hosting this. Oh, so we have got a question. Can you remind us if there is a deadline for the grants? For the grant scheme, well, everything has to be spent, i.e. your project has to be completed by November. So we will be doing our last grant panel mid-September. Okay, I hope that helps and look forward to hearing from some of you. Please do get in touch, sign up via the website, sign up to Wired Sussex. I hope that Nick and I can plan some other future events in the future, in the next couple of months as well. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.